Welcome back to Dallas Twang. I'm Dave. So if that title didn't run you off, scare you off, then you're still here and you're going to make it. That's cool. Okay. Uh, we're not going to play a 37 bar blues, by the way, although that's possible that you would, because we're going to play whatever bar blues that you want. Okay. And here's why. If we try to track everything about our blues playing and learning all at once, the chord comping, the swing, the groove, the licks, this lick goes from the 1 to the 4, this lick goes from the 4 back to the 1. That's all great material. And if that makes sense to you, then just keep going with that. But this is an offer to folks that are, you know, having issues with trying to process all that stuff at once. And, I've learned in my teaching that I'm guilty of this too, right? It might make sense to me, but if you're doing all that stuff all at once, you know, it's like a moving target. Well, wait a second. I need to, my rhythm's not that good. So now I'm not paying attention to the lick that we're learning anymore because I'm just trying to figure out why'd you go, you know, on that F9. We're in C today, by the way, just like we were last week. So here's what always helps: back up, chunk it out, figure out what to practice before we just get in there and start driving ourselves nuts, watching videos and stuff, and just trying to do all this stuff, right? So you can't really separate rhythm from lead playing or soloing, whatever you want to call it, ultimately, because all the musical elements are happening all the time in both cases. And but they're not mutually exclusive, right? But we can kind of put them in two buckets just for the sake of organizing our practice, right? So you want to do some practice with your rhythm, right? There's not as many diagrams and things written out for rhythm, is there, on YouTube? You have to spend time, and just don't try to make it just like mine. Doesn't matter. What matters is don't change that one chord until it's comfortable. Then change it to the 4. Okay, so it matters that we're going to change them and stay in tempo and stuff, whatever, when we start to play a piece or like go through the 12 bar. But for some stage of practicing, don't worry about it. You're just getting used to like making some of these chord shapes. Some folks are, right? That's enough for this week or whatever until that becomes comfortable, right? Now, there is something to be said for continuity or momentum, right? Inertia, keep things going. Sometimes I'll say something sort of contradictory to what I just said. Well, even if you miss the chord, just keep the groove going. There's a case for that in certain applications of teaching, and certainly if you're, you know, kind of familiar with the chords and you're just hypercritical of like your rhythm or something and it's causing you to stop, then for that person I would recommend just keep going, right? Play the pattern and just keep it going, even if you miss the chord. So, right, that every situation is not the same, but you can figure that out for yourself. You'll know where the work that you need to do is. Okay. So that's about it for the rhythm part of it. It's just, treat it like something that really matters. You cannot go on to this other stuff and just kind of like that rhythm's not going to magically just happen, right? So you got to spend time on it. But you can also spend time in the same week or the same day, the same hour, doing single note stuff. You don't have to wait for 6 months playing rhythm before you can start, having fun with the soloing, right? And one thing that I think would really help with that is relating it right away to arpeggios. And then taking your rhythm, your groove from your chord playing and putting it right into the arpeggio. Now, it doesn't matter where I am in the 12 bars now. It just doesn't matter, right? I'm just taking my time and pacing myself and making all this stuff count. I'm not worrying about, like, I just got to get through this because I got to remember to get to that other chord. Then I got to play that one lick that I do. If all that's going on in your head, then you just take a pause, take a breath, right? Get right back into it. Relax, right? Now, we're not doing licks yet that specifically lead from one to the other, right? Right, hear that? That goes from... Right? A lot of stuff on YouTube, cool stuff, great players, mapping that stuff out for us. Like, that's one of the things I really enjoy. So if I see a video that says, outside lick to go from the 1 to the 4, that's, you got me. I'm clicking on that, right? Because that's where I am with it, right? I can do a lot of things comfortably just using the blues scale and a lot of stuff that feels good to me and that I like. And so my growth edge is that I can put some jazzier stuff in there, and use some of these altered scales and stuff to go from one chord to another. That's kind of the stage that I am with blues learning and self-teaching and using YouTube. So don't try to take all that on at once, all right? Last week we stayed on this C7. And we did a lot of hammering and sliding into that major third. Okay? Now notice I'm not trying to play the full groove and everything here. I might make the chord just to get that statement there, then follow it by an arpeggio. Then maybe, the blues scale. Might work in that other skill with the sliding to the third. And when I'm good and ready, I might go to that 4 chord. I might not go back to the 1 like I'm supposed to in a 12 bar. I might just do it again. And I might just keep doing it until I'm done with that one. Then I might go to the 1. I might just go up to the 5. What's going to happen is after a while, you're just going to put together a blues. I know that sounds like, no, I have to follow the... Don't try to trick me into, you know, uh, uh, you know, you know, deciding all these things for myself. The decision's going to come from, it's going to sound like the traditional thing to some extent because that's what you've been listening to your whole life. You, you don't have to play by the rules because it's just going to happen anyway, right? So let yourself have that freedom. It's so important. And by mixing those three things, chord, arpeggio, and blues scale, just simple licks on that blues scale, man, cool stuff starts happening right away. We're not even we're not playing lick number anything from the super lick. If you don't know these licks, you may as well just go home, or all that nonsense. Forget about that stuff. Left field. I don't care how many C's I did before I went to that F. You can tell that little critic that back there that's telling you all this stuff. You just say, I don't care. Right? I'm off the chain now, right? I'm just doing whatever I want. Okay. And, I'm making kind of a big deal out of that satirically or whatever. But that is so important. It's a viewpoint. You have this other, voice of judgment in your head that's saying, nope, 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 nope. Well, guess what? Yes, yes, yes. You know why? Because it feels good. And I guess it's still a free country, like more or less. we we won't go there, but yeah, okay, whatever. Okay. I hope this really helps. I would go through more of the positions and stuff. I mean, I can do a little bit of that, but you know, the business is going to be the same. Whether I go down here and go, um, all right. See, it wasn't 12 bars. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was an 18 bar blues or something. Um, just let yourself go a little bit on this. Slow things down, spend time on each chord. Use the three components: the chord, the arpeggio, and the blues scale. And if you really want to have some fun, start sliding into that major third a lot when you're in a major blues like this. See what happens. Let me know how it goes, okay? Appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.